Hi, I'm Maya, a typical Virgo, and I do videos about bullet journaling on my channel, so if you're all about that, subscribe and let's just get into it. For the start, I have to show this. This is my old bullet journal, which I have already filled in comparison with this new, and I think this is so satisfying to see how the old one looks against the new one. I just can't wait for this one to be filled too. So now, if you're gonna plan with me, grab your journal, but if you're just gonna chill here, grab your tea, grab your coffee, and let's just get into it. 2023 has started, first week is over, and I'm a little behind with my journaling, honestly. From the start, I wanted to create this reading journal in 2022 so I can be ready for 2023, but I just didn't take time for it in December. I got sick and I also wanted to hang out with my family and just chill for the holidays. So I'm gonna turn this into something positive and I'm gonna take it as a lesson for myself that we're all on a different timelines. And even though the new year has already started, and I have a feeling that everyone has already started being their new year, new thems, it doesn't have to be that breaking point of the new year starting for me to start. So for the first page, I decided to create a library and I filled it with bookshelves all over the page where I'm gonna input the books that I've read in 2023. In upper right corner, I'm also gonna put a key dividing the books into physical and audio books, so they're gonna be two different colors. And when it's gonna be all filled out at the end of 2023, it's gonna be a cute library of two colors. My audiobooks that I've read are gonna be gray, the physical books that I've read are gonna be beige, pinkish color. I don't know how to describe that color, you're gonna see. I don't know if that's just because it's winter, but lately I've been into toned down colors, like not really screaming at me rainbow colors. On TikTok I've seen this nude toned down rainbow described as caca rainbow, as like a poop colored rainbow, but I really like it at the moment. I'm really into this type of colors, like toned down greens, pastel, but pastel in dark sense. This is the palette that I'm into right now, so this is why I'm picking the gray and the nude colors for the books. My preferences around colors are changing so much. In the summers, I'm usually into neons and really colorful palettes in my journals, in my clothing, in my makeup, in everything, but when it comes to winter, it just feels wrong to use those type of colors for me. But that doesn't mean that I'm judging. If any of you are into screaming colors when it's winter, also not only in the summer, I love that for you. It's just my preferences right now. As you could see, the pages looked a little empty without decorations on them, so I decided to add home plants that are actually recreated from my plants that I have already in my home. So this is gonna be the color and doodles theme throughout my whole reading journal, as you're gonna see in the end of the video when I'm gonna do the whole flip through of the journal. Usually I'm only reading romance, maybe a little fantasy, mostly spicy romance novels which are just cheesy and just easy to go through books. But lately I've been getting into some genres that are out of my comfort zone, because I've just read The Ninth House, and let me tell you what happened when I was done reading this book. Yesterday I was frantically searching through the library page on my computer and I'm searching for the sequel. I'm mad because my library doesn't hold the sequel. Then after some time of searching and being mad at the library, I Google it and find out that the sequel is coming in this year of 2023. It's not even out yet, and I was just being mad at my library for no reason at all. So now I'm waiting for the sequel Hellbent to be published. But while I'm waiting for that, I need your help. I want to explore other genres and also dive deep into fantasy genre. I haven't gotten into that as well, and I'm gonna need good book recommendations. So if you have any books that you would recommend reading, please recommend them in the comments so I can put them on my TBR for this year, because I don't want to fill my reading journal with only the cheesy stuff like I kind of did with my last year's reading journal. So any book recommendation would be greatly appreciated. So for the end of designing my mini library in my bullet journal, I'm adding some details. As I said, I'm including the key in the upper right corner for my physical and audio books, and I'm making the title a little bolder so it looks better. And you already know I'm a typical Virgo. I have to have everything organized, so in the next page I'm gonna include a reading log where I'm gonna input every book that I read. Also, if you haven't noticed, my channel is named Typical Virgo because I'm obsessed with bullet journaling and organizing and planning. So if you like that type of stuff, subscribe and join our little community of neat freaks over here, because I know my subscribers are just the nicest people ever. Every comment that I get is so positive, and I love you so much for commenting, for subscribing. I really appreciate you all. I'm continuing the theme that I started in my first page. It's just a little simple right now because it's empty, but when I'm done with it, it's gonna be filled with books that I've read in 2023. On this page, I'm gonna include the book name and the author, the date that I've finished the book, and my star rating. I'm reading them from 1 to 5 stars. My next page is gonna be really fun to look at the end of 2023 because this is the page when I'm gonna input my 2023 reading stats. I'm gonna be tracking my reading stats for every month, but before I tell you what I'm gonna be tracking exactly, let's just appreciate my line work. I'm doing this free-handed and I know it's not perfect, but I mean, it's also not that bad. I'm usually saying that I don't use a ruler because I like the look of how it looks free-handedly, but honestly, I just have a feud with my ruler. Whenever I draw the line and lift the ruler up, it leaves a splotch of ink and it just looks ugly. It just ruins the whole page. So I would rather have imperfect lines than splotches of paint all over my page. I am also keeping up with the theme, just making it a little different so it's not the same on every page. In the right upper corner, I'm gonna include a little pot with a little plant, and I'm gonna connect the 2 pages with a vine of leaves on the bottom. So the info that I'm gonna be tracking with this page is, for every month I'm gonna count the books that I've read. I'm gonna also separate it into physical and audiobooks that are gonna be the first 3 columns. Then I'm gonna track the average rating. I'm gonna count the pages that I've read throughout the whole month, the books that I've bought, and my favorite book of the month. I'm also gonna do a separate spread for my favorite book of the year. You just have to wait until the last spread because that one is my last, and I think that one is the prettiest of them all. This next spread is just gonna be a quick overview of the book series that I'm reading. This one is really nothing special, but the special thing on this page is the doodle that I'm gonna do in the bottom right corner. I really popped off with that one. Also, can you see that I'm drawing with different markers than I did in my past videos? That's because I have 2 new markers. Only 2. Because I went to the art store and wanted to buy a whole pack of markers like this ones. I was searching for ones that don't go through the page, that are leak proof, but I wasn't expecting the price, honestly. I was so shook when I got into that store and asked for a whole pack of these brush pens. And yeah, let me tell you the price. The price was 93 euros. 93 euros for markers! So I decided to only buy 2. That was within my budget for that day. But yeah, now I'm 2 markers closer to my dream pen collection. For my next spread, this is a fun challenge that I already did in my last reading journal, but I couldn't finish it all. In my defense, my first reading journal was from October to December, so I didn't even read as many books as are the letters in the alphabet, so I'm not judging myself for that. I had only 3 months, but now I have a full year to finish up this challenge, and I'm really gonna try to complete it this year. In my last reading journal, I set up this challenge as a list, just naming the alphabet vertically and writing out the names, but I wanted to make it a little more cute than I did last year, so I decided to go for this design. I got the idea for this design on Pinterest, but I can't find the post, so I can't tell you from which artist it is. If you find it on Pinterest though, tell me in the comments which artist it is, so I can give credit where credit is due in my description box, where I'm also gonna tag the creators that have inspired my reading journal for this year. Now let's continue to my next spread, which is here only for my fun. It's honestly not adding anything to my spread, it's just for fun. I loved doing this in my last reading journal. In my last reading journal, I set a goal for 24 books read in the last 3 months of 2022. I fell short and I didn't achieve it though, but for 2023 I decided to set a goal for me to read 60 books until the end of 2023. If you have a reading journal or if you are making yourself a reading journal, this is so fun to do. It's just rewarding to read any books and it kind of motivates you to read more books just so you can color in these little squares. Let me explain myself why I didn't make it symmetrical. I have a feeling that I'm gonna read a lot of books in 2023, so I left spaces here for me to add if I'm gonna cross my goal of 60 books, so that's why I positioned it like this. As you can see, I've used this vine of leaves design in many spreads now. That's because I tried to draw the pothos plant. I really wanted to have a pothos plant. I already had it once, then I killed it, and this is a hard plant to kill, but we just moved to our first apartment and I just neglected it, so I set a goal for me to have a pothos plant in 2023, and something happened this weekend. We went to visit my boyfriend's grandma in her retirement home, where I saw that they have a huge pothos plant. This plant is resilient, so I cut off some leaves. Don't judge me, it was a big pothos plant, and now I got a pothos plant propagating in my jar here on my table. Oh, this reminds me. I have a friend who said that everywhere he goes, he has a spoon with him, just so if he sees any plants that he likes in like public areas, that he just takes little springlings that are growing beside the main plant and just digs them up with his spoon and takes them home. He's studying agriculture, so he's digging the plants up only if it's not gonna hurt the plant, so don't worry about that. He just takes the little sprouts that you wouldn't even notice that they were gone. Explaining this so nobody would think that he's just shoveling up plants in public spaces. Okay, so for my last spread, I decided to make a competition for the best book of 2023. I divided it into 12 rectangles where I'm gonna write my favorite book for every month. Then I'm gonna pick out of the 3 months, so I get 4 books to pick from, then 2, and then I'm gonna pick my favorite. This section in the middle looked a little bit empty, so of course I added a pothos plant that just perfectly filled out the space and made this page look a little cuter. All that is left is coloring in the plants and writing out the names of each month, and I'm done. I can't wait to see which book is gonna win this competition. So now my reading journal is prepared and I can't wait to fill it in and add new spreads for each month that is passing, filling it out with books that I'm reading. For each month I'm gonna just make it their own. I don't have any structure for my monthly reading journals yet. For now I'm just pasting the books that I've read and writing something about them, journaling about them, maybe adding some reading trackers. I'm just gonna have fun with it. If you made it until the very end of this video, comment down below this emoji. Let's pretend this is a pothos plant emoji. Let's use this emoji. Spam the pothos emojis in the comments below. Let's confuse the other people that haven't made it to the very end of the video with this emoji in the comments. It's a special members only. If you know, you know. Thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I know that most of you watching my videos are not subscribed, so I'll give you 3 seconds to join this amazing community. 3, 2, 1. And thank you for watching. Have a lovely, lovely day. Bye!